Welcome back to the ultimate checklist for better photos. This is episode 5 of 12, and today we're looking at one of the most transformative elements in photography, light. And light isn't just technical, it's emotional too. It's a thing that sets the mood, creates depth, and gives your image character. If exposure is about quantity of light, then this is all about quality. Light is what makes a photo feel alive. It shapes the subject, sculpts the scene, and tells the viewer how to feel. A photo taken at noon will look nothing like the same scene at subject, even with identical settings. And this is because the light carries emotion. When you understand light, you gain power over the atmosphere of your image. For example, if you want something bright and joyful, look for a clean, diffused light. For something moody and intense, find shadows and contrast. Light isn't just about seeing the subject, it's about feeling something when you do. So think of light as your paintbrush. Different types of light can create different emotions. Harsh midday sun gives you strong shadows, crisp detail and hard edges. It can be unflattering, but also very graphic. Golden hour provides soft, warm light, which is flattering for both portraits and landscapes. It makes everything look a little bit more dreamy. Blue hour gives you cooler, moodier light, which is great for cityscapes or lonely, quiet scenes. Cloudy days mean we get lovely diffused light that wraps around our subject. It's ideal for skin tones and gentle moments. Remember, there is no such thing as bad light, just light you haven't learned to use yet. The best photographers don't always wait for perfect light. They adapt to whatever light they're given and make it work. Light has direction, and that direction, where it's coming from, changes everything. With front light, the light is behind you, hitting the subject head on. This shows detail clearly, but it can also feel a bit flat and lack drama. It's useful for documentary or catalogue style photography and scenes where you need clarity, like children or family portraits, for example. Here the light comes from the left or right, adding shadows and shape. This reveals texture and is fantastic for dramatic portraits, food and architecture. It's also very useful for adding depth and revealing dimension. Backlight means the light is behind your subject. It can create rim lights, glow or silhouettes. Backlight can be tricky to expose for sometimes, but it's incredibly emotive and very effective. So backlight is useful for adding drama, atmosphere and mood. And why not try shooting backlit scenes during golden hour for that dreamy look? It's well worth the effort. Light isn't just bright or dark, it also has color temperature, which can completely change the mood of your image. We call this white balance, but it's not always white. Early morning and sunset light has warm tones, yellows, golds, oranges. It feels romantic, peaceful or nostalgic. Midday light is neutral to cool, clean and bright, but sometimes a little bit harsh. Shade or cloudy days push towards blue, which can feel quiet, introspective or even cold. Artificial lights like lamps can add orange or green tints. Sometimes that's unwanted, but not always bad if you use it creatively. When you pay attention to the colour of light, you'll start making better decisions about where to shoot, when to shoot, or how to adjust the white balance. You can correct it, but sometimes you'll choose to keep it. The key is to make the choices on purpose. Colour affects emotion, so always ask yourself, what does the colour of this light feel like? Does it suit the story I'm trying to tell? And do I need to neutralise it or lean into it for an emotional impact? And think about what colour is the light? Is it helping or hurting my subject? And does it match the mood I'm after? You could even do different versions of the same image with various white balance settings for a different feel. Let me know if that makes sense. When you're thinking about light, don't just look at what it's illuminating. Look at where else it's falling. Because light doesn't have boundaries. It spills, it hits other objects. And whatever it touches, the viewer notices. If your subject is lit perfectly, but there's a bright patch of light on a distracting background, your eye will go there first and away from your subject. Light can bring hidden elements into the spotlight. Dust, clutter, stray objects, even people you didn't notice when you took the picture. So when you frame a shot, always ask yourself, what else is being lit? And is that supporting my subject or competing with it? So maybe think of light like a highlighter pen. Whatever it touches, it tells the viewer, look here. And this is where you can improve, because you're not just taking pictures, you're making creative decisions. Light changes fast, so you have to be aware and move with it. If the light is harsh, try turning your subject away from the sun or use shade if you can. Or maybe look to bounce the light using a reflector if you have one. If it's cloudy, brilliant. Soft light is great for skin tones. If you're indoors, get near a window if you can, because natural light from a window is usually softer and more even than the ceiling light on a lamp. It wraps around the subject and helps to reveal shape without creating any harsh shadows. And if the light is too strong, you can block some of it using a curtain maybe, a sheet of paper, or even a t-shirt. Anything that actually diffuses it a little bit. This gives you more control over the brightness and direction of the available light. And if the light isn't quite falling where you want it to, move the subject or move yourself. Sometimes just turning the subject slightly can make the light far more flattering. So look out for and be aware of different types of light, such as hard light versus soft light. Hard light comes from a small, strong source, like the midday sun on a cloudless day, or a bare light bulb. It creates sharp shadows and lots of contrast, and it's great for texture, shape, and drama. Soft light comes from a bigger diffuse source, like a cloudy sky or light bounced off a white wall. It's gentler, easier to handle, and really flattering for portraits. Direct light hits your subject straight on from the source. This can sometimes be overpowering or cause unwanted glare. Indirect light is that light that's bounced off something else first. It's softer, more even, and often more pleasing to the eye. For example, think light from a window bouncing off a white wall. Natural light comes from the sun, either outdoors or through a window. It changes all day long, which can be tricky but also creative. Artificial light comes from things like lamps, ceiling lights, LED panels, strobes or flashes. It's consistent and controllable, which is great for indoor or studio shooting. All types of light have their strengths, and when you understand how they work, you can start to mix them or choose the right one to tell the story you want for any given image. And remember, you can always move your feet. A 2-step shift to the left might change everything. And maybe it would help to think of light like music. Soft light is a gentle ballad. Hard light is a drum solo. Side light is a jazz riff, full of depth and surprise. Backlight is a powerful string section. It adds emotion, mood, and atmosphere. So learn to hear the light, then decide what feeling you want it to play, if that makes sense. So if you're up for it, here's a practice challenge for you to try. Find one simple subject, a person, a plant, cup of coffee on the table, just something you can easily photograph repeatedly. Now photograph it in 3 different types of light. Front light, where the light is behind you and facing the subject. Side light, the light coming from one side or the other. And then backlight, where the subject is between you and the light source. Then, if possible, do a 4th shot on a cloudy day for fully diffused light. And try this both outdoors and indoors. Change the angle, rotate the subject, even move yourself around the subject to see how the light changes as you do. And if you can control the indoor lighting, try blocking light, bouncing it off a wall, or diffusing it through something translucent. Then review all the pictures and ask yourself, which one looks most interesting? Which one shows texture? Which one feels flat? Which one matches a certain mood? And why not share your results in our Photography Foundations community over on School? Get feedback and see how others approach the same exercise. So let's quickly recap what we've covered today. Light sets the mood, reveals the subject and tells the story. Direction matters. Front, side and backlight all have their place. Color temperature affects emotion. Light affects the entire frame, not just the subject. Move your feet, think and respond. Photography is literally defined by light. It's what the word means, drawing with light. But the way you use light is what defines you as a photographer. Learning to see light, really see it, will change everything. You'll start noticing shadows on walls, reflections in windows, the colour of a room at different times of day. And when that happens, you're no longer relying on luck. You're not hoping for a good shot, you're shaping one. The camera is just a tool, light is your language. Learn to see it, respond to it, and use it with intent. And you'll start creating photos that look and feel the way you imagined them. That's where you can really start making progress. And if you need a bit more help with the basics, grab my ebook in the description, totally free when you sign up for the newsletter. Next week, in episode 6, we're going to look at something many beginners miss, the background. Because a messy background will kill a great photo every time. So subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll see you back here next week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.